Teaming allows you to sort of like fight above your weight class, if you will. Like you team up so that you can get contracts that you don't have the past performance to get yet, right? And you are going to be attractive to people because you have that SDVOSB set aside. So start subcontracting maybe, right? That's a good place to start. Under some larger primes, they're going to need you to meet their subcontracting goals.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here again with Sarah from SAS GPS, and today we're going to be talking about winning government contracts as a service-disabled veteran-owned business. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Yoel.
And actually, Sarah, SAS GPS is a service-disabled veteran-owned business, right?
So
could you start by introducing why this topic is even important?
Yeah, thanks, Yoel. I'm excited to talk about this. At SAS GPS, we are a service-disabled veteran-owned small business coming out of the Army, and we have helped clients win over $45 billion in federal awards. We're also a women-owned small business. After almost 25 years in this field, we've seen firsthand how veteran entrepreneurs can turn their service experience into powerful contracting advantages. So today we're going to cover how to leverage your SDVOSB status, how to navigate some of that certification, and avoid some of the common pitfalls that trip up veteran-owned companies.
Amazing. All right. So great. First question. What advantages do service-disabled veteran-owned businesses, or SDVOSBs, have when pursuing government contracts?
Okay. So first, some exclusive access, especially like federal contracting. Federal agencies reserve specific contracts just for SDVOSBs. By law, since 2024, 5% of all federal contracting dollars now target veteran-owned firms, which is up from 3% before that. So that means that like when you have a set aside, you don't have the large competition pool. You're only competing against other service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses. So you have fewer competitors and real chances, like some better chances at sole source awards too, up to certain thresholds. Second, subcontracting incentives are the same because large primes have to include, they have subcontracting goals. So SDVOSBs help them meet their subcontracting goals. So they're actively looking for veteran partners, right? Third, not just subcontracting, but teaming. You are now attractive to other companies to come together as a team because you have like the access to some of the contracts that they may not because they do not have that SDVOSB certification. There's some extra programs and credibility there as well. Certifications can open access to surplus property programs, veteran training, funding. Bottom line, your veteran status isn't just honorable, it's a business advantage that reduces competition and adds market trust.
Absolutely. And those advantages sound great, right? But all that hinges on certification. So can a veteran-owned business get certified or verified as a SDVOSB to actually benefit from those types of programs?
Yeah, well, to be a service-disabled veteran-owned business, first you have to be a service-disabled veteran, right? And if you are just a veteran and you're not service-disabled, you can become a VOSB. So we should be clear about that. There's a difference. And it used to be that the VA handled that certification, but this year it moved over to the SBA. So now you have to be SBA certified. So step one, let's go ahead and confirm your eligibility, right? You have to own at least 51% of the company. You have to have control of day-to-day and long-term decisions. You're going to have to meet the SBA size standards, obviously, for a small business. And then you're going to have to provide your VA proof of service for your service-disabled disability, right? Then you will apply through the SBA, what they now have is called the Vet Cert portal, Vet Cert. So you'll make a login. I believe it's certifications.sba.gov. Maybe we'll put that in the description. And then you're going to upload all your docs, your VA disability letter, your business formation records, your tax documents, the proof of ownership, all of those things. And then expect a review period of weeks to months. Don't wait for a solicitation deadline. Oh, look, I saw this come out. It's due in 30 days. That's not the time to start. You start now, get that paperwork done, get everything in place, then go look at your solicitations. Especially think about it right now, right? The government's shut down. Nobody's processing your SDVOSB paperwork at the SBA. Right now we're at 22 days, right? Where nobody's even worked on that, right? So you just don't know. So be extra super prepared. And also, the thing that will help you not hold up your process, avoid paperwork errors, right? Names and ownership percentages have to match on all documents. Your SAM.gov profile needs to match your application. And if you have missing or inconsistent information, you will either get denied or it will get delayed. And sometimes it gets delayed a long time. They might find one inconsistency that you did, and then you get it corrected, and that took a couple months, and then they find another. So really do your paperwork correctly. And then once approved, I believe you have to renew every 3 years, and you need to keep your records ready for re-verification.
All right, that sounds great. So now let's say that a business is certified, right? How should they go about finding the right contract opportunities and actually bidding, right? In other words, like what's the strategy to identify good fits and pursue them effectively with, time and resources?
Well, I mean, first, obviously make sure you're registered on sam.gov, and then you treat your sort of sam.gov profile like a federal resume. Make sure you've added your NAICS codes, your keywords, your SDVOSB status, some of your past performance if it's accurate or belongs on there, and then review that annually, right? And then you're going to use sam.gov search filters and like search capabilities to go find SDVOSB set-asides and sole source notices, but mostly those set aside contracts that are coming out, right? Like you want to look and save those. So you want to build some searches. It's going to depend on what NAICS code that you do, what business that you do, about how much is going to be SDVOSB like set aside. I want to be really clear. Like the VA, working with the VA is great. They prefer veterans, and if they can get them, they contract with them, period, end of story. So construction, operations and maintenance, janitorial, anything that comes to the VA, solid. But some other places you might not see as much SDVOSB set-asides. So it is kind of dependent on your area and which kind of department of the government you're looking to work with. And if you don't care, then just leave it as a set. Put your NAICS code in, put that SDVOSB in, and then save that search and then see what pops up, right? sam.gov will email you, on a whatever frequent basis that you choose for it to, new search, new things that pop up. If you see sources sought notices come out, and those are not going to be set aside, right? They're going to be the government looking to see, like market research, who's out there who can do this contract for us. And you want to, especially if you have a good set aside, you really want to respond to those sources sought, because you want them to know, hey, there is SDVOSB companies out here who can do this job. And then that influences whether or not they will set aside that contract when it comes out for bid, right? So I think that sources sought are really, really good ways to both get noticed early and sort of like turn the market to your advantage. There is a SBA dynamic small business search. Also, you could use agencies there. It can help you find some vendors. And then, I don't know, don't just do things online. Also network in person, attend those industry days, attend things that the VA has for SDVOSBs, right? Perform small business outreach, veteran business conferences, things like that. There's the VA's National Veteran Small Business Engagement, VBOC, events and some things. So, be strategic, start small, target your audience, like figure out how to do all of these things, and then really focus and hit the ground running. Find what's your best fit and chase that.
No, 100%. That's excellent advice on finding opportunities. Now, once you're bidding, Sarah, what are some common mistakes and pitfalls you've seen veteran-owned businesses or service-disabled veteran-owned businesses make, right? Particularly when going after larger federal contracts, say a couple $1 million or more. And I know these mistakes also even happen with experienced contractors, right?
I was going to say most of the mistakes that SDVOSB makes are the same mistakes everybody makes. They don't have special mistakes, really. But your mistakes are always, number one, non-compliance. Late submission, missing forms, those are going to kill a bid instantly, right? Follow that RFP word for word, font, size, margins, everything. Keep a compliance matrix and a calendar for your SAM.gov renewal, for all your cert deadlines, everything. Second one that kills everybody, generic proposals. Do not copy and paste your old content. Customize it to each agency and speak directly to their mission and their pain points, right? That's just secret sauce. It's not even secret.
Yeah, no.
If your past performance is weak, if your projects are smaller, you got to figure out how to mitigate that. You could maybe, depending on the solicitation, showcase your team experience or your subcontractor credentials. You can form teaming partnerships so that you could borrow sort of past performance, if you will. And then number 4, always unrealistic pricing. Both over and underbidding the contract can hurt you. If you put it too low, it looks risky, or you just can't do it. If it's too high, you're not going to be competitive. So use your price to win research and justify your costs clearly. So be accurate, be specific, and be credible.
Absolutely. Right. Now, you've touched about on partnering to enhance past performance a little bit, right? Can we dive a little deeper into that? So for a small veteran-owned business, right? How important is teaming or partnering in winning those bigger government?
Yeah, well, huge. Teaming allows you to sort of fight above your weight class, if you will. You team up so that you can get contracts that you don't have the past performance to get yet, right? And you are going to be attractive to people because you have that SDVOSB set aside. So start subcontracting maybe, right? That's a good place to start under some larger primes. They're going to need you to meet their subcontracting goals. So maybe reach out to their supplier diversity contacts, register in their vendor portals, however it is that you would like, do your research on these companies and figure it out. And that's a good place to start. But then once you start to get going, you're going to want to do more joint venture or maybe mentor protege programs. So the SBA's all small mentor protege program. You can partner with a large mentor and then still bid as a small business, and they'll kind of help you. You can get some of their resources, sometimes their past performance, while keeping that SDVOSB status, right? Here at SAS GPS, we do some teaming services for people. So we connect some small firms with more experienced primes looking for opportunities, right? Or vice versa. But there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. But bottom line is that you want smart partnerships. That's how you grow. And they're going to catapult you right into those multi-million-dollar projects that you couldn't win alone. Then those are your past performance. And then you get to like sort of play in that bigger playground. And I think SDVOSB is one of the easiest set-asides to get that to happen for.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's great. That's really good advice. Okay. So finally, we've talked about free resources. But I know SAS GPS provides professional services in this arena as well too, right? So like for people watching, how can partnering with experts like our team help boost their ability to win contracts?
Okay, well, I always, since this video is for service disabled veterans, I don't want to charge people for something that they can get for free. It's just not how we work, right? And especially not how I want to work with my veterans. I'm not interested in taking your money. But so a lot of times I will direct people to the SBA. A lot. They have Apex Accelerator programs. Sometimes there's free training, one-on-one counseling on bidding. There's SAM.gov setup. The SBA will definitely help you with that. We don't do SAM.gov setup. We don't do some of that preliminary stuff because you can get it done for free. And I always caution people, companies that are willing to like make you pay a whole bunch of this money for something that your taxpayer dollars already pays for you. I'm sort of sus of that. But sometimes the SBA isn't very helpful. And I always do tell people, call a different SBA office then, because eventually you'll get somebody that knows how to do this. Your Apex accelerators are good places. There is veteran business outreach centers that the SBA does. Programs like Booths to Business. These help you build your business skills, get you contract ready, tap into your peer networks. DC, local veterans chambers, things like that, network with other veteran businesses, figure out what they did, get some real world advice. All of those are free and low cost, right? So they're going to shrink your learning curve and help you stay updated. Now we step in a lot of times kind of like right after that, or if that is being very unsuccessful for people. Or maybe they've gotten to that Apex Accelerator stage and they've gotten some RFPs that they've been handed, but they really don't know how to look at them or bid on them. That's where we come in. We can help you understand. We can help you review. We can help you sort of learn, like, is this the right one for you? And then when we do find the right one for you, we'll help you manage and write that solicitation. And we do a lot of work with service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. A lot of the service-disabled veterans, there's reasons that they're service-disabled, and we really, really love to be able to work with them to help them play to their strengths and fill in those gaps in their weaknesses and watch their businesses grow. It's a rewarding thing for another SDVOSB.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Sarah, so much for sharing all this, invaluable information. I think from a special veteran set-asides to avoiding proposal pitfalls and, all the stuff that we talked about today, I think that people can go in and review it and make sure that they're proceeding, with a win in hand. Is there anything else you want to share that we do?
Yeah, no, we've helped countless veteran entrepreneurs capture life-changing contracts, and we'd love to do the same for you. So visit us at SAS-GPS.com, SAS-GPS.com for more resources or figuring out how to contact us.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. Subscribe. Actually, we read all the comments and we love to create content for you guys. So let us know how we can help you guys out, and we'll see you guys in the next video.